What is up, everybody? It is February 1st, Monday morning, and we are kicking off. Okay, this is just the glare is annoying me. But I've been at the computer and I've been using my blue light glasses. And guys, guess what? They work for like 20 bucks. Who would have thought? We have a new series this week. We are kicking off Challenge Accepted. So we're gonna be talking about ultimately challenges that we face in our lives and what Jesus can do about them. And what I mean by that is we're going to be talking about a lot of these things of how Jesus was affected by some of the same challenges or people that he knew. So, for example, the key aspect of this week's story is that Jesus is going to raise Peter's mother-in-law from the dead. Like, he's going to heal Peter's mother-in-law, and we are going to talk about Jesus takes care of me. And so, while Jesus at this part of the story has not raised from the dead yet, and he hasn't even, he hasn't raised Lazarus from the dead, but he's healing people, and not just anybody, but like Peter, one of his closest dudes. He was like, "Hey, Peter, I've got this." So Jesus takes care of me. Later on in the series, we're going to talk about one's the transfiguration, which is just a bonkers story to talk about with kids, where Jesus really reveals himself to his disciples. Also, the temptation of Jesus is one of them. And, temptation is a thing we face a lot. So that I think is going to be a really good conversation that week. I think that's week 3, but don't quote me on it. So anyway, that's what the general series is about. But this particular week, Jesus takes care of me. It's also the first week where we have kindergartners up and 4th and 5th grade on their own. And so just know some of what you're going to see here is really flexible for your small group. So you could not waste time, but you could cut out some things that you might need to do for kindergarten to get them, into the group. And I'll say this: if you have a group of kindergartners and you want to scrap, this is my philosophy on this. If you want to scrap everything from small groups just so that you can get to know them and they can get to know you, so you can build that relationship, do it. Okay. That our goal isn't that in 1 hour they're going to learn that Jesus takes care of me and then that's like we won forever. What we want is for them to want to come back next week, have a connection with you, and then spend the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and ultimately 5 years until they're in 5th grade in a small group here at Valley Real Life with a connected leader, learning about God, learning about Jesus, learning what that means, getting to know Jesus, all those things. Those start with relationship. So don't sit down with your kindergartners and think this is going to go exactly like my 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade small group has been going, because it's not, and that's okay, and that is expected. So like I said, if you end up with a kindergarten group this week, and some of you watching this are moving up with them, just know I don't expect you to have this like groundbreaking every kindergartner accepts Christ moment this weekend. So with that being said, let's fly through this. And again, everything is taken with a grain of salt. So new memory verse this month, and then the host is going to ask a question. How has someone taken care of you? And then can you name one way someone has helped take care of you lately? We'll jump into our story. Like I said, it's about Jesus healing many people, although Peter does heal people later on in the Bible, but we're not there yet, so just hold your horses. We'll get into our small groups. Oh, I didn't include worship on this PDF. We're going to do worship, and it's 2 new songs. They're not new songs. They are older songs, but I picked songs that as kindergartners come in, they're pretty quick and easy to learn. So nothing too complicated this week, or this month. And so they'll come in. Couple activities. One of them is called Ball It Up. And what's going to happen is you're going to have probably a beach ball, because they're cheap, and they're going to have questions written on them. So you're going to toss the beach ball, and then the kid will catch it. And wherever their thumb lands, and this here says wherever their right thumb lands, they're going to answer this question. So the questions are going to be things like, who takes care of us? What does the Bible say about how Jesus cares for us? How has Jesus helped you? How have you seen Jesus help others lately? Choose one word to describe today's Bible story. What was today's big idea? Jesus takes care of me. Who does Jesus use to help take care of us? And can you recall our Bible story in your own words? That being said, if you jump down a couple of activities, there's a discussion, and there are other discussion questions. Wow, I can't talk right now. You can skip the Ball It Up activity or move it to the end, or you can flip however you want to flip. So like if you have the older kids and you don't want to give them a beach ball because you think that could end up violent, then just go to the discussion questions. If you have younger kids and you want to get them active and moving around, or the older kids, you want to get them active and moving around, use the ball. So again, that is all about having options. I don't ever expect for you to have time to get through all of the small groups in their entirety. You might be piecemealing some things together, a little bit of discussion, a little bit of game, time to go home, a little bit of memory verse activity, whatever that is. I want your small groups to be really authentic to you, and I want it to be authentic to your group. So if you know what your kids need, take a little from here, take a little from here. If you don't want to give them the beach ball, don't do it. And if you don't want to just sit and do regular discussion questions, use the beach ball. It's perfectly fine either way. In the middle of that, and again, I say in the middle, it's how I plan it in the middle. You can do whatever you want. But I think this will be really cool. We have something called Care Reminders Printable. It is pictures of sports, baseball, basketball, tennis ball, football, all those things. You're going to print multiple copies, which I will do for you, and then you're going to give them to your kids, and they are going to write down on this ways that we can care for others and ways that Jesus cares for us. And then you're going to write those down, or they're going to write those down. You're going to cut them out and tape them up on the wall. We're going to leave them there all month. So every week when we come in, they can see these reminders, not just reminders that they wrote, or again, kindergarten, first grade, even second grade, you can write, they can say it and you can write it down and then we'll cut it out later. So that's what that is. And then finally, I guess there's two more. Scripture, Psalm 147, 1 through 11. Select about 10 words from the passage beforehand and assign the words to kids and then encourage them to draw a picture that matches the word they are given. So you go and read through the verse, and it has just some really powerful word imagery. And then you can go, hey, we're going to take different words from this and we're going to draw this. And so again, it's getting in the Bible and it's also engaging the kid who doesn't want to play the game where you throw a ball around. The memory verse game is going to be running around bases like in baseball. This is really great for a kid who doesn't want to do that. And so you could even go, hey, while we go and do this game over here, if you'd rather do this other activity where you draw, you can do that. You can split them up, whatever you want to do there. So, and then finally, you're going to run the bases, prepare 3 pieces of rectangular white paper and 1 in a pentagon shape to represent the baseball bases. As they run around the bases, they're going to be saying the memory verse. So you'll have like the first part of the verse at first base, the second part at second base, third part at third base, finish it at home plate. And then lastly, there's a prayer to pray for your group to close it out. So that is it. That one just really felt like more today. But again, I really feel like we need to explain for anyone who's new with kindergartners and because you're going to have new kindergartners. And then for the 4th and 5th grade leader, let me say this, whoever you are, every service there are 4th and 5th grade leaders. Let me say this to you. Your kids are going to be really excited about the new room, about the arcade system they have. We're going to rotate this. For right now, we'll have a switch. We won't have that every week / every month. Let me say this. I'm okay for the first couple of weeks if you go, hey, you know what? We're going to stop class 5 minutes early so that they can have some time to play those things because they're new and exciting. And if you just keep going like, well, you can only play it if you show up early, but if you get done on time, then your parents are here and you don't get to play it. Like we want them to have the chance to play it. So please hear me when I say, I'm not telling you to that games are more important than small group, but I am saying if you just tell the kids that they can't play any games because you have to do small groups, they're going to resent small groups. And so we're going to find that balance. So for the first couple of weeks, we're going to do our small groups, but we might even say, hey, we're going to not play a game up front so that you guys can play these games at the end. And I think they'll be okay with that. So like I said, it's all a learning process. We're going to get through that and figure it out until we get it really dialed in. But anyway, have a great day. Have a great week. I'll see you guys later. If you have any questions, let me know. And in the meantime, I'll be praying for you guys just about life in general. So let's do it, man. Let's kick it off. Peace out.